number 2 of the championship series. A win today by Rutland Town, and they will claim the 2010 championship, and we'll have the trophy presentation. It's Kyle Bechet behind the plate. Kyle strike one. Andy Kanash on the mound, and at the plate will be Sean Blanchard. And Blanchard will be the starting pitcher today for the Proctor squad when they get out there in the field defensively. We're at Del Bianco Field in center Rutland. That pitch from Kanash had some juice on it, but it's sailed up and inside. A little bit high. For Rutland Town, I've already mentioned Kanash is the pitcher. Jared Moore is your catcher. The infield looks like this. Jacob Clark's at first, Max Paquette at second, Kyle Casarino at short, and Avery Billings is at third base. That'll be a good eye there, and Blanchard will watch that pitch come in for a ball. The outfield has Brandon Wortman in left field, Lucas Healden centered, and Zach Korse is your right fielder. And we are set now to settle in for 6 innings of baseball, at least 6 innings. And last night, a 5-4 win for Rutland Town. Very intense game, good ball game to watch. Played like you would want a championship game played. And that'll be ball 4 and a walk. Kanash pitched last night the 6th inning, and I believe he registered that. He was in a position where he registered the save. And Nick Ojala started the game last night, the pitching position for Proctor. He's going to be the starting shortstop today, and he'll bat number 2. In the order, and that should mean, yep, Protobansky on deck. And that's solid contact, and the base hit through the hole at short. And Wortman will get the ball quickly back into the infield, so I wasted no time. Took the first pitch, and Ojala drove it through the hole at short, and that'll be the game's first base hit, and Protobansky up with Miles on deck. Yes, in the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th inning, Proctor had runners as far as third base with less than 2 outs and just couldn't find that timely hit to get the tying run in. So Kanash will go to the stretch. And that's going to be put into play, and that's going to skid through the hole at 3rd, and that'll load the bases up as Wortman running the ball back into the shortstop, Casarino. And again, that was just a hard chopper of a hit that went through Billings at 3rd, and the base is loaded with nobody out for Kyle Miles. This will tell you a lot about how today's going to go for Proctor. In these situations last night, they just couldn't get the runs in, so they have the table set right now, bases loaded, nobody down, and the cleanup batter, Miles, up at the plate. If Proctor were to win today, that would force a Game 3 right here at Del Bianco Field on a Monday night, and I'd have that for you. Pitch call, a strike. A lot of movement on that pitch from Kanash. So he'll come to set, look at the runner at 3rd over, and strike 2. Same pitch, same results. Moore hardly having to move from the target he sets up. The catcher, Jared Moore. A nice patience between pitches from Kanash, and came inside a little bit too much, and it'll be a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You're watching the top half of the 1st on PEGTV Channel 15 Sports. More exact, you're watching Munger Vision. And that's going to be just enough to get it over the infield, and that'll score the 1 run, and bases remain loaded. An opposite field single that was handled by Zach Korse very cleanly. Blanchard will come in to score. Ojala stays at 3rd as they didn't want to run themselves out of a big inning. And Miles will deliver. 1-0 Proctor would lead, and Jesse Slade, the number 5 batter up. There is the 10 batter rule in this league, so that fastball splits the plate down the middle, strike called. With Bechet doing the umpiring behind home base, I'll have no questions on balls or strikes. He does a good job of calling it out so you can hear it. And it's going to be to Casarino. He's going to come home for the force out. He'll get the force out at home base. Smart play. Nice throw, too. Moore and Casarino get Ojala out. I'm just writing that. So that's a force out. That's 6-2 on the force out. Protobansky goes to 3rd, Miles to 2nd, and Slade will reach on the fielder's choice. Now Logan Landon up. So Landon. And again, just enough bend on that pitch to nick the outside corner for a strike. Proctor with the 1 run. If they get out of this inning with just the 1 run, they're going to be scratching their heads again. Bases were loaded, nobody down, and Kanash bearing down and That's going to be down to first. That's a slow hit ball, and it's going to be bobbled, and everybody's going to be safe. Yeah, that was just the right idea. They wanted to come home to Jacob Clark, but he just tried to throw the ball before he secured it, and that will allow a run to score. Miles will go to third, Slade to first, and Landon will end up at first base. 2-0 now, Proctor, and Zach Jalbert up. Just 9 people on the roster for Proctor today, no substitutions. And well, wait and see what they can call there. It looked like he kind of committed with the bat. I believe the pitch overall was a ball, and that's what they're going to stick with, ball 1. It's a warm, sunny day here at Del Bianco Field. No breeze, actually good baseball weather. And that one, if anything, might have been a little bit low. So a 2-ball, no strike count. Billings at third base, in on the grass at the corner. There he goes, as he'll get the count back around out of 2 balls, 1 strike. Now Miles, Slade, and Landon on base right now for Proctor. Big swing and a miss, and boy, I tell you what, you could hear Jared Moore's glove just pop when he caught that ball. So we're all leaving it, 2-2 in the count. And he'll get him for the strikeout. That's going to be his first strikeout of the ball game. Now Brandon Fox. Fox had an excellent game last night with a couple base hits and had a flawless night in the field playing second base. He'll step in there from the left side with 2 outs. Off the fist and foul. He's got quick hands through the strike zone. He's got very quick hands on his swing. And the number 9 batter, Chris Jalbert, on deck. If they are able to extend it one more batter here. 2 runs are in, but base is still juice for Proctor. Fox waits, pitch coming. Getting a little change of pace right there. Took something off from the fastball, and Fox a little bit ahead of it, and there'll be an 0-2 count now. And what we have is a timeout called by the umpire, Bichet. They're going to have the catcher, Moore, come out and chat with Kanash. This first innings has seen Proctor able to make contact out from Kanash and plate 2 runs. Long way to go. Going to go at least 6 today. Got him, looking, strike 3. So he'll strike out the last 2 batteries faces, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. Rutland Town coming up, down by 2. And Sean Blanchard, he has all his innings today as the Proctor squad held him out last night from game 1. From pitching, that was. He played defensively in the field, but remember, Ojala started last night, went the 1 inning. Protovansky pitched the 2nd inning through the 6th, allowed just 2 runs. Did a real good job in relief. Blanchard starts off against Max Paquette, Kyle Casarino, and Andy Kanash, the first 3 in the order for Rutland Town, and that's going to be a little pop-up. It's going to drop in for a base hit, and it'll be picked up by Jalbert. He'll get into the Fox, and tell you what, this could be a wild one today as both teams. I know we're early in the at-bat here for Rutland Town, but everybody seems to be making contact. Casarino up. He's going to be playing, has played shortstop today. His first chance to swing the bat. He'll jump back from that pitch that came inside on him. Now, the Max Paquette, who's at first base, not only did he have a good night defensively, but he came in and pitched the, what I thought was pivotal. He was able to get the 5th inning, come in and pitch, and retire Proctor without letting him score a run. Actually had the bases loaded and got a couple strikeouts to end that inning. That gave him just enough innings to get and bring Kanash in for the 6th. Oh, a base hit for Casarino, and that's going to roll to the fence, and they're going to score the first run on that base hit. That's Paquette you're watching go in to score at home, and that's Casarino at second base. So just like that, we have a 2-1 game now, and Casarino will pick up an RBI. And Kanash up now with a chance to get the game tied up. Oh, this could be one of those 13-12, 16-15 games. And that will brush back Kanash. Again, Casarino with that good speed out there at second base. And a good eye by Kanash as that pitch will sail on side. So 2 balls, no strikes. Game number 2 of the championship for 2010 in the Proctor Youth League. Rutland Town at the plate wearing Blue tops, black bottoms, and strike called. And Casarino's going to take off for third base, and he'll be there standing up. So the tying run now down at second base with nobody out. That's off the fist and fouled out of play. Again, a little different looking pitch from Blanchard there as he changed some speed on the ball. If Rutland Town were to win today, the trophy presentation, I'm going to keep it right here. And actually, I'm going to try to get down and make the call. And that will be base hit, RBI. That'll tie the game up. Kadash is going to turn the corner. And now that's going to be interesting. So they'll call interference on that play. No. Portovansky got in the base pass over at first base. And that actually impeded the progress of Kanash. But they're going to allow it to play through. So an RBI for Kanash, and now Jared Moore up 2-2 the score. And I believe that's Chris Mayhew doing the umping out in the field. Former Rutland High and CSJ student, athlete. Healed on deck, Moore with a big swing. Was swinging for the fences on that one. He'll settle back down. So Rutland Town able to erase that 2-run deficit. And actually both these innings, the top half and the bottom half, looking very similar. A lot of times too, you play like the tournament here at the end of the year, the games that led up to the championship game. You're playing a lot of games in a very short period of time. As that will skip past Fox, Kanash is going to go to third, and will they hold him up? They're going to hold him up at third, so he's going to, well, he's halfway home already, and they're going to have Fox run the ball back in, and that was just smoked out to second base. That was tagged by Moore. Oh, but I started to say a lot of times you play a lot of games in a short period of time. It really favors the hitters. They kind of get their timing down and mechanics down, and could be what we're watching right here. It's just all the hitters are in tune right. They just played last night, and less than 24 hours later they're playing again. I believe that's going to make the dugout. Yeah, it's going to go beyond the dugout. So just a foul ball strike on Lucas Heald, the center fielder. Now he came in and did some pitching last night for Rutland Town and did a good job. I believe Rutland Town used 4 pitchers last night. We'll have the Proctor All-Star Tournament July 10th and 11th down at the Proctor Youth Baseball Fields. That's a blast to go watch. That looks to be playable. Oh, that will drop in. They didn't talk, and Kanash will score, and Gelbert will get the balls. Ojala and Gelbert. We got a little confused on who's going to make the call and make the catch, and Kanash will score. Now make it 3-2 Rutland Town. Moore will end up at second base, and over at first will be Heald. And still nobody down, so a big inning right here being formed by Rutland Town. And you can see on that wild pitch that the runners will move up to second and third. Yeah, Miles tried to turn his glove over and make the catch. And actually, you know, as a catcher, you've got to slide out, make your body big in front of the ball. And this time he's able to snag it, but that'll be ball 2. So Clark at the plate, and Avery Billings, the third baseman, taking some practice swings in the on-deck circle. And that will get, no, they're going to hold the runners up, and they'll flip the ball back, and it's all for naught. No, but that's a live ball, and Blanchard will pick it up now. Kind of a different play right there. And so as Kyle Bechet, the home base umpire, will get set, get his gear back on, we're ready. Big swing and a strike. So a 3-2 score just in the first. But still a lot of the first inning to go here. And it's going to be over to Fox. He'll have it squirt through the wickets, and that's going to allow 2 more runs to come in. Heald will score. And going to third base, will there be a throw? It'll be there late. So that will push across. Jared Moore will score the 4th run. Lucas Heald will score the 5th run. And Jacob Clark will end up at third base, and Avery Billings now coming up with a chance to drive in a run. And so Rutland Town making contact on Blanchard here, doing a good job at just, and it's all you really want to do. It's great to hit a home run, and it's great to, you know, do all that run coming home, and he will score. Yeah, everybody kind of stopped. I think it was a dead ball, and that's what it was, went out of play. So the run will come in. That'll be Clark scoring, and that's going to be 6 runs now in the first inning for Rutland Town. But I started to say, basically at this age, you want to come up, have their mechanics down on their swing, understand the timing, watch the pitcher's release point, but make contact. You know, that's really the key thing right now. Not contacts, I'm going to hit a triple or a home run. You just want to make contact. Oh, and that's going to be down to the shortstop. Ojala is going to pick it up and get the out at first base. That's a good throw because that was a very lowly hit ground ball. It took its time getting over to the shortstop, so he'll ground out 6-3 to Ojala. That's the first out of the inning. And now Wortman up, Brandon Wortman, the left fielder. Yeah, and that's definitely Chris Mayhew over there doing the umpiring on the bases. It'll float outside. Base is clear now to the 8th batter to come to the plate, and Zach Course is on deck. Blanchard going back to the full windup with nobody on base, and that'll be inside a ball. Been a long inning for that Proctor defense. Oh, that high one. Oh, they all like those high pitches, and he'll go chopping wood on that, and Wortman will have 2 strikes on him now in the count. Now skipping, good eye by Wortman, as that pitch almost had the reaction of like a slider, which I know he didn't throw, but a lot of times they just can't, at this age group, they're just gripping either a 4-seam or a 2-seam on the fastball. Blanchard's kept his composure out there on the mound, doing a nice job in a rough inning, and he'll get, well, I could be off in the count. I thought he had 2 strikes. No, he must have 2 strikes now. There's the strikeout. That's out number 2. And the first strikeout of the ballgame for Blanchard. Now Course up. 6 runs in, 6-2 so far. Rutland Town with the lead. And Zach Course represents that Rutland Town's gone through the order here in the first. Good rip at the ball, but a little bit out of his reach. Slade over third base defensively. They've got him in on the edge of the grass. And strike 2. Been good placement of the ball right there by Blanchard. And that's going to be the inning, but a big inning for Rutland Town. They will score 6 and have that 6-2 lead going in the top of the second. So Chris Jalbert and then top of the order for Proctor. And everybody's looking at each other, and I guess it'll be called a ball. They're going to appeal it and say no. They checked with Chris Mayhew down at first base, and he said he held up on the swing. Jim Proctor had the bases loaded in the top of the first, nobody down, and managed just 2 runs. That's the contrast. That's the difference in styles. Rutland Town able to generate the timely hitter, the good contact, and cleared the bases off a couple different times in the bottom half of the first. Nasty looking pitch right there, and the swing and a miss. And Jalbert, the center fielder today for the Proctor squad. And that one moved him off the plate. Now I believe that'll make the 2-2 count. Defense looking the same out there with Moore behind the plate, Kanash on the mound, Clark, Paquette, Casarino, and Billings on the infield. And there's going to be a swinging strike. Kanash with 2 strikeouts in that first inning. Looking to get the leadoff batter out here in the second. And he will. And you can see the punch out back there by the umpire Boucher, and Sean Blanchard up now. He walked and scored back in the first. And see Kanash settles down here and kind of, I thought midway through that first inning he'd kind of settled into a rhythm and was throwing the ball extremely well. Just like that. Strike one. The outfield has Wortman, Heald, and Course. And there are 3 subs coming in later in the ballgame for Rutland Town. We'll get to them in just a second. Fouled back, and actually Blanchard swung so hard he spun around and corkscrewed himself into the ground. And his own dugout having a pretty good laugh at that. That's the beauty of this age group. Well, Blanchard had his rip at it, that's for sure. Strike 3. Now you go back to the bottom of the first inning. That's 4 batters in a row struck out. 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Kanash, and this is Ojala up. He had a base hit. He's 1 for 1 today. And that's, the old saying, good pitchers like Kanash, if you got him on the ropes early, you got to take advantage of it and get to him early, because they kind of, just like he's doing, starting to dominate the game now. And again, a little something off the pitch. Had Ojala out in front on the swing. Those subs we're talking about, though, have Clay Drinwater, Matt Sheridan, and Evan Biederman. They'll be coming in the ballgame later for the Rutland Town Chargers. Getting a win today, they'll win the 2010 championship, and that's going to be the Casarino. Nice hop, he'll handle it clean to throw, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rutland Town defensively. They'll come up the bottom of the second with that 6-2 lead over Proctor. And that's a solid shot up the middle coming right at you as Paquette drills that one to center field. Well, obviously now, Paquette let off the second inning, and he will have his second base hit in the ballgame, 2 for 2, hitting the ball just like he did last night. Now Kyle Casarino up, and that's going to be behind him to the backstop. Paquette will stay up at second base. He goes in standing up. And Casarino had a double and an RBI and scored a run all back in the first. A big first inning by Rutland Town. They were able to get 6 runs. That will again float behind Casarino. Ball 2. Defensively, we're looking at Slade at third base. Ojala at short, Fox at second. Protovansky is at first. And that's going to allow the runner, Paquette, he'll go down to third base and stay up. And they're going to have a little chat now with the pitcher Blanchard as, I don't know, he's making that motion, yep, like his arm's sore. Hopefully it won't be too serious, but they're going to bring in Ojala, so we'll let him get his warm-ups, and we'll pick it back up on the other side of the fade. So Blanchard, with a sore arm, they said, has moved more to second base, and Ojala in there. Now, he started the ball game last night, went the first inning. And like I said, Proctor only the 9 players. They had no substitutes to come in, and that's a good stop by Miles. And that'll be a walk, and that'll be ball 4. And yeah, I'm looking for Paquette. He's at third base. So Casarino will draw the walk, and now Kanash up. Andy Kanash had a single, scored a run, and drove in a run. And it's easy to watch the game and just tell, of course, it's its age group, but after Proctor had that 2-0 lead, they had a lot more energy running in and out of that dugout. Now they're they got to pick it back up emotionally. They're down 6-2. Of course, that's easier said than done. It's easy to say behind the camera, but they're a little flat right now. They got to pick it up. And that will catch the plate, but be low, and then Casarino will go down to second base uncontested, and good job of moving it along. So Kanash with Jared Moore on deck. So they're, like I said, they're in the power part of the order right now, batting-wise. That'll be fouled back. And it's stuck up there in the backstop. That's just like shooting a basket. Ball and having it stuck between the rim and the backboard. That's kind of different. And there, you get a big hand for that. It's Kanash able to get the ball dislodged from the chain link fence. And so far, I thought the umpire behind the plate doing a nice job with the strike zone, calling balls and strikes. So not only not is Kanash doing the batting right now, but he's also helping out with the groundwork. And now that's hit a mile. That's hit a mile, and that's going to be off the wall. You can see it bounce off the wall. That's going to score a couple runs. Kanash will stop at second base, and he's going to have a double and 2 RBIs. That was not that far from leaving the ballpark. And now Jared Moore up as the lead goes to 8-2 as Kanash has a towering double out to right center field. Moore with a single and scored a run back in the first. And that's going to be skidded, bounced around, and yep, they're going to, one of those balls that's just hit the right place, at the right speed, at the right everything for it, and it'll drop in there for a base hit, and I'm looking for Kanash. He'll go down to third base on that. And I'm unofficial, but I'm going to give him a base hit on that play. Lucas healed up. He had a single and an RBI, and he scored a run. Again, looking for that first out here in the second. And tickling the outside corner for a strike. So Lucas Hill in center field. I said that's where he started off last night's ball game, then got moved into the pitching position, and I think he eventually ended up over at first base. So again, very versatile player, able to move them all around. And wow, I'm not sure. Well, he really had no choice but to foul that one off, and that'll be a strike. Runners at the corners with nobody down. 2 runs in here in the bottom of the second. 8 runs in overall for Rutland Towns. We're looking to close out the championship series with a win at home today and capture the 2010 title. That could be second base. There's one, and yep, they're going to hold the ball as Kanash will score. And he'll get the runner at second on the force out. So I went 4-6 on the force out. Heald will reach on the fielder's choice. Jacob Clark up now. He also had a single. He also scored a run and drove in a run. And I'm looking Heald over there. First base has good speed, got good wheels over there, and that's going to be bouncing around. And yep, by the time Miles located it, Heald will end up at second base, so he puts himself in scoring position. Both teams very aggressive when they get runners on base, as far as really using that aggressive base running to put people in scoring position and make the defense move around. And he went after a high heater and a swing and a miss. So Ojala battling out there as he came in to relieve Blanchard this inning. And this time, Clark will not offer at that high pitch, and he'll go by for a ball. See Ojala pitching from that full windup, and that's going to be right out towards center field, and that's going to bounce over the wall. Yeah, and that's going to be a ground rule double. And that will drive in a run as Heald crosses the plate. Clark with his second RBI. So he's had a single and a double, and he's driven in 2 runs. Again, that was pretty much dead center field. And they got out of here in a hurry. It hit the about 3.5, 4 feet from the fence and then bounced over the fence. Avery Billings up. He grounded out to the shortstop, who at the time was Ojala, who's now the pitcher. That was a good swing. Just didn't quite catch up to us. Swung over the top of it. So it's a 10-2 game now. Rutland Town able to extend the lead here in the second. 1 down. Oh, nice pitch by Ojala. Good placement. Good hitting his spots by Ojala right there. It's a little overcast today. I like that for videotaping. And the runner off and going, and the throw down to third is going to be a big collision. Oh, yeah, and that's, you can see that Slade grabbing his knee. It's a dead ball out of play, and what happened there, the base runner was heading in to slide at third. Slade went to grab the ball, and it was just a big collision. Yeah, those are 2 very good-sized young men, and well, we'll fade down, and hopefully this won't be as serious as it looked. But Dr. Kanash coming out, take a look. Okay, so the good news was that Jesse Slade able to stand up under his own power, walk off under his own power. But it was the second, I was looking at the leg injury, but they're looking at his facial area, whether it's a nose or a tooth. But that's Dr. Kanash, of course, his coach at Rutland Town. He came over and evaluated him, and now Mom is over there taking a look at Jesse. And what they've done defensively is bring Logan Landon in to play third base, and they're playing with just two outfielders to try and split the outfield up into thirds right now. And that's going to be called strike 3 on Billings as he gets punched out. That's the third strikeout for Proctor pitching. First one for Ojala, and that is the second out of the inning. Now Brad Wortman up. He's 0 for 1 today. But see, Slade, because of an injury, if he's able to continue on and play, he'll be able to re-enter the ball game. That's a swing and a miss for strike 1. And they do have a runner. Don't want to forget that. They would have Jacob Clark over at third base. And right there, just good pitch by Ojala. He's come on in relief here, and he's been in the strike zone. He's done a good job of throwing the ball over the plate. And he's up in the count on Wortman. And he'll get him, so he'll strike out the last two batters he faces. But another big inning by Rutland Town. They'll pick up 4 more and have that 10-2 lead going into the top of the third. Protovansky starting things off here in the third, scheduled for 6. And that'll be foul ball. Now the interesting thing happening here is Jesse Slade, who left the game with an injury, he's going to bat third this inning. I've done games earlier this year, and it was explained to me if he's unable to come to the plate, and there was no substitution for him, that's what really screws things up for Proctor, that he would be, if he can't come to bat, he'd be recorded as an out. And that's going to be Protovansky. That's going to be the third base. Scoop fires, and course got the ball there, but it pulled the first baseman off the bag. So and I want to check. That is, yeah, Zach Course has gone into play third base. So Protovansky will beat that out and be over at first base. Kyle Miles up. He had a single and an RBI back in the first inning. We're in the third, scheduled for 6. And I didn't think the weather would be a problem today, but it's pretty cloudy and getting a little bit darker out right now. There's a strike called. Kanash had a rough first inning. He faced 8 batters, but then he was strong in the second as he went 1, 2, 3. Had 2 strikeouts. It's recovered nicely. And it's going to be foul down the first baseline. So Protovansky will just head back to first base. Miles will get another swing here. Yeah, I'm looking at the change defensively as Zach Course has gone to play third base for Rutland Town. Heald still in center. Wortman is in left, and that must be a new right fielder. That's Avery Billings in right field. And just did miss. That was a tough pitch to take with a couple strikes, but it'll be called a ball. And I'm watching, I think Slade is out of the dugout and actually got a batting helmet on, kind of stretching and flexing over there, so. That's some high heat, and laying off it was Miles. The rest of the defense looks like it stayed the same with Casarino at shortstop, Paquette at second, and yeah, that is Clark over at first base. Andy Kanash on the mound, and he'll come inside and full count. That's what I thought. The leadoff batter, Protovansky, got an infield single, and of course I'm unofficial and I call it an infield single. That's just my interpretation. Even though the throw pulled the runner off the bag, that was a good 2-strike swing. Now it was a decent pitch right around the knees, some heat on a good location. Both players doing the job right there. And Moore wants to come on and just chat with Kanash. I can't believe that it would be a mix-up on signals at this age level, but it's a couple of times now that Moore's come out and chatted with his pitcher. They could be just playing out their afternoon too, but Kanash from the stretch will come to set. And Miles again will follow back. Kanash has got a real compact motion. I mean, for such a short motion, he generates a lot of power. You know, obviously when he goes from the full windup, he's got more momentum coming forward, but just a very compact, almost like a scissor step, Going down to second base. Yep, that was a walk. Ball 4. So first and second for Proctor here in the third. And I know there's a long way to go, but kind of got the feeling that Proctor's got to pick up a couple runs here, just kind of mentally get back in the ball game. Yeah, and Slade will come up to the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. Well, maybe he'll be healthy enough to come back and play third base. And that fastball exploding up and inside, just off the mark. And Proctor picking up their 2 runs back in the first inning. Great movement on the ball. That to me would be the 2-seam fastball with that type of action on it coming down. The 4-seamers tend to rise a little bit. And Kanash, nice patience between pitches, gets himself all set and composed. Elevated the fastball, and Slade holding off on the swing. He'll step back in there, and again, see Kanash compose himself, take the deep breath, find the target. And that's going to be to the backstop, and you can see Protobansky going to third, and Miles here on the back end of the play will end up at second. So that wild pitch allows the runners to get in scoring position, and Logan Landon on deck for Proctor. Slade looking to make contact here. And great pitch. That outside corner. At Del Bianco Field, just newly renamed. It was Dewey Field, and they dedicated it to the late Dick Del Bianco. I always remember him from his comedic acts when he was stand-up comedy in The Really Big Show. That's going to be knocked down, and they got a pickle play, and they're going to toss it over the top, and that's going to allow Miles to score. No, go to the third. And no, they're going to turn the corner, and the throw's going to come in and be cut off by Kanash, and 2 runs will score. Slade will end up at third base. And now Logan Landon up with a runner at second, so 10-4 as those 2 runs come in. Proctor able to, again, obviously they need to score to cut the lead down, but they need to score mostly to just kind of fire themselves back up and emotionally get back in the ball game. And that'll be foul. So Landon will go back, head back in there, and pick up his bat. Playing left field today. Also slid more at third base on this injury to Slade. And we'll see if they flip-flop back around again. Zach Gelbert on deck for Proctor. Oh, good pitch. And Kanash, good-sized young man. Usually with excellent control, but he changes speeds up. He'll hit different spots, and just overpowered him right there with that rising fastball. So that will become the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Kanash. That's the first out of the inning, and now Zach Gelbert up. He's 0 for 1 so far in the ball game. He's only been up the 1 time, and too far outside. Again, it's been a well-called ball game from behind the plate by Kyle Bechet. Outfield pretty much straight away. Well, I guess they're not shallow. It's because I do like St. Peter's Field Legion Ball. I got to remember this is only a 200-foot field, so they're playing about the midway point, depth-wise. Braden Fox taking some warm-up swings in the on-deck circle. He'll be up next for Proctor. And I think it was early in the year. I didn't get to see it. I would love to videotape it. But these 2 teams played here. And I believe it was right here. They turned the Proctor squad turned a triple play, or what was deemed a triple play. And boy, again, rearing back and firing. Back-to-back strikeouts when he needed them. Remember, Proctor started off with Protovansky, Miles, Slade. Now Landon and Gelbert gone down on strikes. Now bring up Fox, who's 0 for 1. 10-4 the score. Rutland Town with a win will secure the championship today. Again, Fox with those quick hands, able to spank the ball foul. Went off from the backstop, came right out to Kanash, the pitcher on the mound. And a good eye there as that ball tailed away to the outside. Now Fox, the only left-hander in the lineup today for Proctor. Curtis Tomlinson unable to make the game today. The starting first baseman, he was the other lefty. That's going to be the Casarino. He'll scoop, set, fire, and that's the inning. But Proctor able to pick up a couple runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the third in a 10-4 lead for Rutland Town. I got to check on my numbers. No, that's that course. Okay. So now I got to start watching for the changes coming up for Rutland Town, because this is about part of the ballgame when they start plugging in their substitution players. Well, right now Proctor, biggest challenge right now, it's just like in basketball. They made a little bit of a comeback with a couple runs in the top of the third. They need a defensive stop now. I know that's the term they use in basketball, but I think it applies to any sport. I mean, right now they need to keep Rutland Town at 10. Not give up any more runs right here. Ojala, he's pitched very well in relief of Blanchard. And that'll be a walk. So, of course, with the good eye, we'll draw the walk, and that'll bring up Paquette. In the two games here in the championship series, Paquette has just had a tremendous on-base percentage from that leadoff spot. Yeah, he's 2 for 2 today. And he has scored 2 runs, so that's what you're looking for, all that leadoff spot. So that will turn him away as that pitch busted inside by Ojala. And by the way, Slade has returned to play third base, which means Proctor now has a full out for 3 people in the outfield. Now he was looking for that corner and couldn't get it. So Course down at first led the inning off with the walk. Don't forget, every Saturday afternoon on Channel 15, starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Tom Leopold, the program director, starts Games of the Week. And he'll play local sports from 4 o'clock Saturday to 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And that's going to be through the hole at second base, and Course will go back, stay at second. And again, Proctor just hasn't really looked sharp in the infield today. Now Casarino up, he has had a double, he's walked, he's had an RBI, and he scored 2 runs. So again, a good job of making something happen. Number 2 spot, and they're going to move the runners up on that wild pitch, and you see Course stopping at second, and there's Paquette down at, or third base is Course, Paquette's at second. Not a good spot for Proctor, as they've gotten right into the 2-3-4 spot of the order with nobody down and 2 runners on. Kanash on deck, and then Jared Moore. And it's going to be knocked down by Ojala from his knees to first. He'll get the out, and that is a very heads-up play, very athletic play by Ojala. So there's the first out, and the runners stayed put. So Ojala, if you remember the Glazic basketball tournament, he was phenomenal on the basketball team. And he hasn't quite had a growth spurt yet, so he's a diminutive-sized player, a smaller player, but just tremendous agility. And Kanash up now in the outfield, backing up. And that'll be to the backstop. Runner coming home, and Wortman's going to be out as he'll get punched out at home base. Good hustle by Miles. And then the tag applied by Ojala. And I'm looking, nope, as Paquette stayed at second base on that play. Yep, catcher hustled after the ball. The pitcher hustled in to get the tag, and now there's 2 down. And this time, Paquette will go down to third base. So Proctor trying to get out of this pickle here in the third, not allow any runs to come in. Kanash with a single and a double, 3 RBIs so far today for Kanash. He's got a chance to pick up a 4th one down at third base. But he also has the ability to leave the park, so he could actually pick up a couple RBIs here. His double just missed. clearing the fence. It hit the base of the blue mesh fence they have out here in the outfield. So Ojula looking for that magic third out here. And this is a good time just to thank everybody who allows me to videotape this Youth League baseball action. Put it on Channel 15, your community station. And will that stay in play? Miles making a beat on it and held it. He'll get the out. That's a big inning defensively. Proctor was in trouble, but they'll come off the ropes, not allow any runs to score, and we'll go to the fourth, 10-4, Rutland Town. New outfield for Rutland Town, as Matt Sheridan is in center field. Drinwater is in left, and Biederman is in right. And again on the mound is Kanash, and this is Chris Gelbert, and then the top of the order. Jacob Clark has moved from first base over to third. Casarino remains at short. That's got a chance. No, it's going to slice foul. Yeah, so Gelbert able to fight that off, but it was foul, and Paquette remains at second base. I'm just trying to pick up. That's healed over at first. And Jared Moore remains your catcher. So that is the defensive alignment for Rutland Town. The Chargers, one win under the belt here in the championship series. His best 2 out of 3. Just missed. Moore held it there just a little bit longer so the umpire could take a good look at it, but that just did miss. Gelbert 0 for 1 today. And that is, again, just the way he's moving the ball around from the outside corner, inside corner, and changing speed just a little bit on it. Kanash with the 6 strikeouts so far in the ballgame. We're in the 4th. And he went around. Yes, he did. So Gelbert will go down swinging. That's the first out of the inning. Now Sean Blanchard up. He is walked and struck out, and he has scored a run. He was the starting pitcher for Proctor today, but had a little problem with his arm and moved to second base, and whoa. He'll turn it. Did the right thing too. And I hope they're teaching that at this age level. When the ball's coming at you, you have to learn how to be hit with the ball. And he turned away from the pitch coming in. If you're going to get hit, you want to turn around so your back or your butt's going to get hit. You want to stay squared up to the ball. And a strike called. Kanash with 2 strikeouts in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. So he's been very consistent. He's got 7 in the ball game. Oh, right down the pipe. So 2 strikes on Blanchard with Nick Ojula on deck for Proctor. Don't forget to use the internet. Go to PEGTV.com, click video on demand. You can watch sports anytime, anywhere, free service. Oh, they'll take it. Looking, strike 3. And that will continue that trend of at least 2 strikeouts per inning. Ojula has had a base hit, and he's also grounded out to Casarino at short. Kanash looking for another 1-2-3 inning. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the second. That was his only other inning like that, setting them down in order. Ojula will pop that one out of play and foul. And don't forget, still more Youth League baseball action coming up for you. Even if the championship is determined here today, I have the All-Star game, the whole tournament coming up in July 10th, July 11th. That'll be followed back. So mark your calendars and head out to Proctor on July 10th and 11th. Watch some good baseball action. You're watching tomorrow's High School Stars today on Munger Vision. Ojula does a good job. When he gets 2 strikes on him, he stays in there and protects the plate well. Foul tip caught. You see the catcher show him. Nice job by Moore, the catcher. And that'll be, 9 strikeouts now for Kanash. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. 10-4, Rutland Town in the lead. If we go to the bottom of the 4th, got some defensive changes to talk about, but I'll let you know that Jared Moore is going to lead things off here for Rutland Town against Nick Ojula. That'll be a ball. I can see Braden Fox right in front of me. He's moved out to center field. And then I got to get my Gelberts right. I think that Chris is number 11. He's out in right field, and Jesse Slade has moved to left field. They've taken Logan Landon and put him at third base, moved Blanchard back to short, and brought Chris Jalpert in to play second. That's a big swing and a miss. Miles looks like he's still doing the catching, and I am wrong. That's Protovansky doing the catching. Kyle Miles has gone to first base defensively. Again, Ojala, same task he had last inning, looking for defensive stop here. Jaw stopped corner. Good eye right there by Jared Moore. Made that nice catch of that foul tip for strike 3 to end the last top half of this inning. Boy. Again, the movement on the pitch was just phenomenal as it moved down and away from the right-handed Moore. Healed on deck, then Clark. And they're looking for that first out. And it'll be a walk. As he caught the plate below, and they'll put the leadoff batter on first base via the walk. And Lucas Healup, he has scored twice. He's got an RBI, and he's had a single. So, again, he's had a good day at the plate for Rutland Town. And that's going to stay in play. It'll come to Ojala. He'll go for the short out at first, and it'll be dropped over there at first base. The throw to second is going to be late. Yeah, it was a good throw from Ojala. It just handcuffed the first baseman. And Proctor overall as a team just been a little flat today. Again, they're at the danger spot in the order. Jacob Clark, number 11 up there, hits the ball very well. He's had a single and a double, and he's driven in 2 runs today. And he'll turn on that, and that'll be a foul ball. Actually, across the street to left Del Bianco Park. Scheduled for 6. We're just kind of grinding along today. And Ojala again been able to hit that corner pretty consistently today. And he'll get the strike called. No doubt about it. The umpire with that short indication. That'll be 2 down now. Ojala has registered 3 strikeouts since coming on to relieve Blanchard. Now Avery Billings up. He's 0 for 2 today. I don't think that's Billings though. I'll have to wait and see the jersey number. Drinwater. Okay, so Drinwater up batting in his place. Remember, he came in defensively top half of the inning. And just too far outside. So Drinwater batting 4, or batting in the spot that Billings had. And actually, I think we're going to see another new batter on deck. As that looks like Matt Sheridan. It is on deck, and he's going to bat for Wortman. Okay, so I'm just doing my paperwork. That pitch, the throw was late, and Moore will easily get down to third base. And also on the trail end of that, Heald ends up at second base. Just the 1 out. And a 10-4 ball game. And that will load him up as that's ball 4. Yeah, so Sheridan coming up for the first time today. And this could be the make or break point of the ball game right here. In the 4th, 10-4. They've got a double play in them. They need to turn it right now, Proctor does. And he'll nick the outside corner. They've brought Landon in at third base on the grass at third base. They've kept Blanchard back in the hole at short. And again, Jalbert deep at second. I'm just curious about that. They're trying to cut the runner down at the plate, which is what they told them from the dugout. Usually bring your infielder in. They have Miles and Landon in at the corners. And that's going to be past Protovansky, and he's going to be safe. Yeah, The throw was to the first base side of the bag, and that allowed Moore to score the 11th run of the ball game. Heald will move up to third, and going down to second is Drinwater. Big run, makes it 11-4. So Sheridan still with a couple RBIs sitting out there. And that floated on Ojala. Remember, he threw an inning last night, and he's into his, well, between 2 nights, he's into his 4th inning of work. And that one, call a strike. That's a Drinwater second, Heald at third. 11-4, a Rutland Town win. They're the champions. Big swing on that pitch, and Sheridan will follow back. And so Protovansky and Miles flip-flop. Protovansky had played first base throughout the ball game. Miles was your catcher. Now they've changed positions. Oh, good pitch. Took strike 3 looking, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And I'll bring up, I'm looking for Zach. Of course, Biederman will be up. So let me just write that in the book. All right, so Biederman coming to the plate. First time he'll swing the bat today. And Ojala trying to avoid coming around to the top of the order. And note the runner started but came back and stayed at third base. Yeah, after Biederman, they're back up to Paquette, Casarino, and Kanash. And I'm sure if they have to face them, they'd rather do it with the bases clean. Nah, we'll even the count out at 1-1. It was a big first inning, 6 runs by Rutland Town that really kind of got them up and going today. And that's going to be Miles making the grab, so we'll go to the 5th, 11-4, Rutland Town. Just a couple innings away from claiming the championship. 5th, Proctor at the heart of their batting order right now. Protovansky going after that first pitch, and Paquette, tell you what, he is way out. He's the second baseman. He caught that in short right field, and he only, not criticism, they got to talk though. They didn't have any communications there, and the 2 fielders are pretty close, but Paquette showing you a lot of range. We'll grab that for the out. Now Miles and then Slade due up against Kanash, who's got 9 strikeouts in the ball game. He's had good help defensively behind him, as Miles will follow that one straight back. And Paquette, if you look back over the 2-game series so far, if it is in today, has really done a nice job for Rutland Town. Strike called, strike 2. I mean, everybody has, just Paquette. I remember him from the leadoff spot. Seems like he was on base the whole series. He's made the plays in the outfield. He pitched an effective inning last night. Good looking ball player. And Miles will duck down all the way to that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. 11-4, Rutland Town. They scored 10 of their 11 runs in the first 2 innings. And again, Miles with 2 strikes on him, doing a good job of staying alive, making contact with the ball. Kanash struck out the side in the 4th. He had a 1-2-3 second. And that's going to be just out of the reach. Good effort by Heald as he went diving after the ball, but yeah, I get some encouragement from the fans there. That'll just go as a strike on a foul ball. So 1-2 to Miles. It's Proctor needing some offense here in the 5th. And that's, tell you what, that with 2 strikes, that was an excellent defensive swing. Just not leave it up to the umpire to make the call, ball or strike, and he fouled that off the fist on a pitch that was way inside. Yeah, Kanash put a little extra on that pitch. Right there, he was just off balance on his delivery. That's why the ball sailed high on him like that. He actually ended up facing first base coming off the side of the mound. Oh, all sports is all about how you set yourself, your balance. Ooh. You can see Morgan just hold the ball for that second. That was a close pitch. Put some zip on it too. and Moore are going to have a chat again as he'll come out and talk to Kanash. Third time today that they've had a little conversation. I'm assuming they're getting their strategy set up here. Now Proctor itself scoring 2 runs to start the ballgame off top of the first and 2 in the third, and that's been it offensively for him. Got him. That actually might have been foul tip caught, but that'll be the 10th strikeout of the ballgame for Kanash. 2 outs here in the 5th, and Jesse Slate up. He has reached on a fielder's choice, and he has reached on an error. So he's been able to make contact both times up. That was just a high fastball that overpowered Slade. And that's going to be a gapper. That's going to land and roll, and Slade's going to have at least a double as he'll take the turn, head to second base, and hold up there with a 2-out double to the left center field gap. So not only did he come back into the ballgame after he was injured defensively at third base, but seems to be seeing the ball well as he turned on it, and Landon up now with 2 outs. And just couldn't catch up to that pitch. So Logan Landon, who's played left and third base today, will find himself down in the count, 0-2. So Kanash looking for his 11th strikeout, which would end the inning. Doing a little landscaping right now on the pitcher's mound. It's to his liking. He's back, the full windup, and strike 3, and he'll pick it up, flip it out to the mound, and coming up to the bottom of the 5th, Rutland Town is going to be looking at the top of the order with Max Paquette up. Rutland Town up 11-4. Top of the order. Max Paquette up 3 for 3 today. He's had 3 singles, and he's going after that first pitch. Fouls it off for a strike. Yeah, the first 3 in the order have scored 6 of the 11 runs for Rutland Town. So again, tough part for Ojala here. And you have strike 2 there. And now Paquette had 3 base hits, 3 singles, but he's also scored 2 runs today. That's going to be to short. Blanchard with the long throw. No, too much speed coming down the line. And Paquette will leg that out for his 4th base hit today. And now Kyle Casarino up. Casarino with a double in the first that drove in a run, plus he scored himself. Walked and scored in the second, and then grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. And he'll pull that foul down the third baseline. So that leadoff runner on base for Rutland Town. And that was high, the umpire says. That'll make it a 1-1 count. Ojala came on in the second. He's got 4 strikeouts. We're here in the bottom of the 5th. Foul ball. Get a Rutland Town win. And we'll watch them get their championship trophy today on Munger Vision. And Ojala with good composure today for Proctor squad. That's going to be put into play, and no, they're going to flip it and he'll be safe. Trying to get the lead runner, and Paquette with just too much speed able to beat that throw to second, so that'll put runners at first and second for the very dangerous Kanash. Andy Kanash up with Jared Moore on deck. See Kanash, of course, stepping in from the left side, and the outfield taking some extra steps back. And that could be gone. No, it's going to bounce and hit the fence, and that's going to score 2 runs. Kanash is going to stop at second base. Just for good measure, he'll dive in. So Casarino scored, Paquette scored, and Kanash with 5 RBIs now, his second double of the ball game. And that'll make it a 13-4 lead for Rutland Town. He's got a really effortless swing. Nice, sweet, level swing he does. Now Jared Morup, he's been busy today also. He's had 2 singles and he's also walked. Scored a couple runs. And I don't think it was that close, but he sure made sure he was out of the way. Now it'll be ball 1. And base hit to the opposite field. They're going to send Kanash around, and he'll come in with the 14th run. And coming in after they toss the ball around, going to third base. Tell you what, Protovansky came all the way from the catcher spot to cover the bag. And time called as they help Morup as he heads over to third base. But again, very impressive play by the Proctor catcher to get all the way down and cover the throw at third base. The run comes in, 3rd run of the inning, and it goes 14-4 now, Rutland Town. As Lucas healed up, again, he's been on base quite a bit today. He's got a single back in the first, scored a couple runs. As they wait for the umpire to get in position on the field. And that will be through the legs at third base. Another run will score. And so that will make it a 15-4 score. Lucas Heald will be at first base, and Jacob Clark up now. Off the corner for a ball. Yeah, Clark today had a single and an RBI back in the first, had a double and an RBI in the second, and then was finally retired the last time up. Protovansky, it's Protovansky at the catcher spot. Thought about making a throw down to first base. And that's going to be Landon to second. And nope, they didn't make the connection. Heald will go to third, and he'll be held up there, as Clark will end up at second base. Oh, and warnings have been issued. Oh, and I missed it. I don't know why. Both dugouts were warned. Oh, okay. Oh, throwing it back. Okay. That's going to be pounded down to shortstop and through the hole at short, and it'll roll to the outfield, and they're going to send the runner home, and he'll score. And they'll toss it out to second. Late Drinwater will end up at second base. Yeah, so Drinwater getting the job done there. I believe that was his first at-bat. That's going to be picked up by Blanchard. His throw will be in time at first, and Drinwater will hold at second base. The play was right in front of Drinwater, which was a smart play. That's the first out, the 9th batter to come up now. Remember the 10 batter rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs so far. Makes it 17-4. Rutland Town, and I should back up. That was Sheridan that just batted. Now this is Biederman. And then top of the order, Paquette again. And that'll be a wild pitch as it goes through the wickets of the catcher, and Drinwater will hustle down to third base. And Ojala, a little bit too far inside. Yeah, Biederman was 0 for 1. He came in a couple innings ago defensively. This is the second time to get up and swing the bat, and that'll be ball 2. So Ojala trying to settle down here and get out of this inning. That's going to be down to Blanchard. He'll bobble, he'll throw, and safe at first base. The run will come in. Drinwater will score. And now the top of the order, also the 10th batter. As I have it as 18-4. So Paquette will be the last batter to come to the plate for Rutland Town this inning. There's the 10-batter rule in play right now. He had some good advice from the dugout. They told him to drive one over the fence, so we better be on alert out here. It's been a big inning for Rutland Town. And Ojala overthrew that time. That'll be a ball. Yeah, it was 11-4 coming into the inning, and then 7 runs so far, and 18-4. And ooh, that caught the umpire on the, well, just on the edge of the mask, and he will walk it off. And like I said, I think the umpire Bechet has just done an excellent job with the strike zone today and taking control of the ball game. And that's a foul ball, as Paquette just got a piece of it. 2 strikes now on Paquette. Biederman down at first. 7 runs in so far here in the 5th inning for Rutland Town. And it pretty much, I got to tell you, it's going to seal the game away, as that'll be a wild pitch. And going down to second base will be Biederman, as he beat the throw. And see Blanchard applying the tag just to make sure. So the windup from Ojala and the pitch. And a good stop back there by Protovansky. That keeps the runner at second base. Yeah, and so the pitch coming. And oh boy, that time I think it went off from Protovansky's mask, the catcher. But a good swing with 2 strikes, staying alive. And a good pitch from Ojala. Again, Ojala with the windup will be off the corner, and that is the 10th batter, and they'll bring the ball back into Ojala. And I'm waiting, yep, they're going to count. So we'll go to the top of the 6th, and just 3 outs away is Rutland Town from being crowned the champs for 2010. This pitch of the 6th inning is a ball from Kanash. Zach Jalbert, Braden Fox, and Chris Jalbert due up here for Proctor. And I'll be honest with you, it's an uphill battle. They got just 3 outs to work with, down 18-4. 11 strikeouts for Kanash in the ball game. And that pitch, can you see the nice movement Kanash has had? Good velocity and good placement of the ball all through the contest. And he will add to that strikeout total. That's going to be number 12, an even dozen now, as they start the countdown. Just 2 outs left now, and Fox up 0 for 2 today. And again, Cummins inside with the fastball, and he'll be up in the count, 0-1. And he's pitched from up in the count for most of this ball game, which has been, one of the keys to his success. Defensively, I see Heald at first base, Paquette at second, Casarino at short, and Clark at third. Drinwater, Sheridan, and Biederman remain the outfield, and I'm assuming that's more behind the plate. Looking for a baker's dozen in strikeouts. Fouled off. Good swing with 2 strikes there by Braden Fox. And Kanash, like I said, he got extended in that first inning to 8 batters, but kind of found himself after that. You're watching the championship game on Munger Vision, and a lot different from last night, since that'll become 13 strikeouts now, as Fox will go down on strikes. Last night game was a 5-4 nail-biter, tense game all the way through it, but today it has been a Rutland Town day. Looking to end the not only the game, but the season, striking out the side. Chris Jalbert up 0 for 2. And again, they'll have the trophies presented at the end of the ball game. That's going to be a number out, picked up by the catcher. The throw to first, and the championship will belong to Rutland Town as they'll win this 18-4. I'm going to fade down, get on the infield, and try to get a better shot of the trophies being presented this year.
Where do you want us to?
Well, how are you going to present them?
Start off by congratulating Proctor on a very good season and the Rutland Town Chargers for a very good season. 2 best records in the league, and I think last night's game proved it. Very evenly matched, very well played by both teams. Same thing today. Balls were hit, kids made plays, kids hit the ball. Excellent job. So a round of applause. And a big thing, guys, for the guys on the first base side and third base side, a round of applause for your fans and your parents who've probably brought you to more games and more practices and sat through more things than you can imagine. And probably 15, 20 years from now, you'll appreciate it, but let's give the parents a round of applause. And hopefully they're still here. They get some grief. They got some grief from me last night, none today. But we want to thank Chris Mayhew and Kyle Bechet for umping. We can give them a round of applause. And finally, guys, as one myself, the gentlemen that give up their time to coach because they love the sport, they love working with kids, and they spend a lot of time before games setting up practices, carting stuff around. Guys, give your coaches a round of applause. I want to thank one more gentleman, Mr. Jerry Munger, who does more for youth sports, and he does not know, I hope he knows, how much kids love watching and hearing them talk about the kids on Channel 15. So Jerry, thank you very much. Okay, so for the runner-up, Proctor team, excellent job, fellas. We have Shane Blanchard. Sean Blanchard. Oh, thanks, buddy. Hey, yeah, we'll have you do them all. Sorry, Sean. Nick. We have Nick Ojala.
Sean, buddy.
Shane Protovansky. Kyle Miles. And this next guy, I wish we had something to give him. Got hurt, came back in, roped the ball to the fence, played hard up there. Jesse Slade. Good job, Jesse. Nice job. Logan Landon.
Nice job, Jesse. Good job, Logan.
Oh, 2, man. That's how you roll.
Zach Gilbert.
Woo!
Brandon Fox.
Braden
Fox. I'll blame it on the person that fills out the,
Job, Braden.
is that John? And Chris Gilbert.
Yeah, great.
Good job, Chris. Good job, Chris.
And Coach Todd Landon.
Woo!
Congratulations. Excellent job, Proctor. Good deal. Now for the Rutland Town Chargers, we have Zach Corse. We have Kyle Casarino. We have Matt Sheridan.
Don't give it to you.
Brandon Wortman. Max Paquette. Clay Drinwater. We have Evan Biederman. have Lucas Heel. We have Avery Billings. Jacob Clark. We have Jared Moore. And Andy Kanosh. We have Coach Sheridan. We have Coach Hill. And Coach Kanosh.
Jeff, thanks for everything. Thanks for all your help.
Excellent job. Thank you. And the final trophy, fellas, goes to the winner of the league. They have a league winner and they have a playoff winner. This year, just about Proctor. Proctor's on this more than anybody, so you can tell you got a great program at Proctor. You guys be proud of all the things you've done. And this year, it goes to league champ and playoff champ, the Rutland Town Chargers.
Nice job, everybody. That's a team effort. That's a team trophy right there, guys. Everybody, everybody together, guys.
Don't make it hold. Kiss it. No. Kiss everybody. I did. Hey, no.
Hold it up. Hold it up. Somebody hold it up carefully. Hold it up in the air.
Hoist it up like a Stanley Cup.
Hold up the trophy. Thank you.